Hi everyone, and welcome to the Facebook and YouTube pages for SilverSilkOnline.com. I am Stephanie with Maureen Bradley Designs, your host today. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I have a quick and easy turtle necklace for you that features SilverSilk Flat Mesh and the Below the Waves Sam's Bead Box monthly subscription box. So let's take a look. Okay, so here's all the beads in the box. I was able to get them all on my mat, and I've kind of already gotten my necklace started to share with you. So as you can see, we have quite a few beads here, and it's got an ocean theme with Below the Waves. I just love all these colors, such a beautiful array of colors, and a beautiful selection of beads. I wonder what you think. So I'm so excited about this box. So let's get started on the necklace. So today's tutorial is going to be using the Seafoam Flat Mesh from SilverSilk. And I've gone ahead and added my crimps to my flat mesh. This is called Seafoam. Isn't that a beautiful color? And it matches so and pairs so well with all these beads. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and add those crimps. So since I've gone ahead and added them, I'll just share with you on an empty piece of flat mesh. So you have your end piece here, and then you're just going to take your flat mesh crimp. You're going to add your flat mesh into the crimp, and then you're going to use your nylon jaw pliers to clamp down on that flat mesh. So that's already done. Some other tools that you'll need today are going to be your chain nose pliers, your round nose pliers, and some flush cutters. So, and then the supplies that you'll use, obviously the beads from the bead box. And also I'm using, for this chain, I'm using a bit of 24 gauge German style wire. I almost couldn't think of the name. So that's what I made my chain with, and I did double wrap the chain to give it a little bit more of a silvery look. You get more silver with the double wrapped loops here. And I'm using the peanut beads. These are the peanut beads with the pink and orange melon. I've got one of the AB or Aurora Borealis finished turtles that are in the box. And these really cute leaves. I thought they're so pretty. They also have an AB finish on them. And I have a green dangle that's going to go under my turtle. And you're going to need some head pins, ball head pins, and 20 gauge wire for the turtle. We're going to make that connection. So let's get started. So the first part of this front portion of the necklace, I'm just going to show you how you would keep adding to chain. And this is the end point of my chain here. So I'm just going to feed that melon ball, the little check melon, onto my ball head pin. And then I am adding my pliers right next to the melon there. And the wire is just inside my round nose pliers. I'm going to pull that wire back. I'm rotating my pliers up. And then I'm going to take the wire all the way around to the opposite side. Let's see here. And then I'm going to rotate my pliers up. And then pull that wire around. Straighten it up if you have to. And then I'm taking my chain nose pliers, holding on to that loop, like so. And then I'm going to grab the chain portion, and that long stem, I'm going to put it inside the end loop of my chain and just pop it into place. And then you just keep making link after link to make the chain. So I'm going to grab my other pliers, and I'm just going to do a double wrap on this melon stem here. I'm just wrapping the wire around And then I'm going to come back up to create that double wrap look right there. There we go. And then I'm just going to clip away the excess wire. And I'm going to tuck in that little piece that's sticking out. And then I'm just going to straighten my loop. And I have completed the little bit of chain. If you don't want to make chain, you could use any other small link chain for this design too. So now to complete the middle portion, I'm going to put my turtle in the middle there. I'm going to take up my 20 gauge piece of silver wire, German style wire, and I'm just going to make a connector piece with it. So I've got my wire inside my round nose pliers, and I'm going to take that and I'm going to move the wire all the way around to create a loop, putting my pliers back in, and then I'm just going to crack the neck. You're basically making an eye pin. And then I'm just straightening it out. There. And straightening my wire. Then I'm going to add, then I'm going to add my little dangle. So I'm going to open my loop from front to back, never side to side. Adding the little dangle onto it. And I'm closing my loop back up, straightening things out. Like so. And then I'm going to feed the turtle onto my wire. And then I'm just going to make another loop. So I'm bending the wire down. I've got my round nose pliers again to make another small loop. And I'm just pulling that wire all the way around as far as it will go. And then I've got my flush cutters right where the loop or the wire bends is where I'm going to cut it on the opposite side, holding on to that wire. Don't want it to fly off. And then I've got my round nose pliers pulling that wire around to make a nice little loop. And then I always make sure my loops are straight. Let's see there. Let's see. All right. So now let's start connecting everything. So this is my 16-inch piece of necklace. This is the base of my necklace. And I'm just making sure everything's the same way. And you can measure it or you can eyeball it. And I'm going to place my first jump ring with my chain here. So I am using, these are 4mm 20 gauge jump rings. And I'm going to hold on to my jump ring. And I'm going to start from the middle first. So I've added my turtle. And then I'm adding the center of my chain. So there's one. I actually think I need to have 4 hands here to do this, but I'm going to try to do it. So I'm adding the 2 loops of the middle part of the chain is what I'm trying to do. Get myself back in there. So there we go. We may need to lay it down to do it correctly. There we go. There we are. So I've added just the 2 loops from the center of my chain to my jump ring. So now I've got my finger on where I want to place my jump ring. And you don't want to go too far up the mesh. You want to go about middle. So I'm going to do like 2 loops up. And the reason for that is, and I'm just keeping my finger on it so that I can pop it through the mesh. The reason you don't want to go too far up is you want these to be dangles. You don't want it to look like your beads are sitting on top of the mesh. You want them to actually sit below the mesh. So I'm only going about 2 loops up of the mesh. And now I'm just going to close it. And it's really as easy as that. Just make sure you've closed your jump rings tightly so there's no gap. And that's the first part of our necklace. We've got it started. So now I've got these 2 pieces I want to add, and I'm going to add them right on that green. And you can measure where you want it. I've got a ruler. I've been thinking I was going to do it about 2 inches away from the middle section. So mine's going to go about right there on this side. You can always adjust it if it doesn't look right or it looks funny to you. Just lay the mesh flat, and then you can gauge where you want to place your jump ring. And then once you're trying it on, if you need to adjust it, come in a little more or go out just a smidge, you can certainly do that. It doesn't hurt it. So we're going to do the same thing where we add this little leaf piece onto the jump ring. And then I'm going to add the green loop. And then I'm going to add it onto my silver mesh here, my mesh here. Let's see. Try this one more time where I've got my ruler because I lost my spot. That's okay. So here we go. I've got this. And I just need to make sure I'm going to leave my ruler on that side so that when I pick it up, I know where I'm putting it. I should have done that in the first place. Here we go. Okay. So I've added my green piece, and then that's where I'm going to place my second connector, and I'm just popping the jump ring right on through the mesh. There, closing it tightly. Excuse me. And now I'm going to do the same for this other side. Grab another jump ring. And then making sure everything's straight. I need to hold on to my jump ring, putting that there. So it's going to be about right there. So let me place this here. And then this time I'm doing my blue loop on this end. And then I'm going to just place my jump ring here. There we go. And again, the third time, closing my loops tightly, my jump rings tightly. Make sure there's no gaps. And that is the front of this pretty little necklace. And then to finish, I have made some extender chain with these peanut beads. This is what they look like. They're just little tiny beads that are in the box. And I made links out of the peanut beads with the little seed beads. And then I added a 5mm jump ring in between so that if you want to wear the necklace a little bit larger than 16 inches, you certainly can. So I'm using a 5mm 18 gauge jump ring. I can find the opening. So I'm going to open that from front to back, and I'm adding on through my crimp, and then I'm going to add my lobster claw here, closing that one tightly. Got that part done. And then I'm going to, oh, that's right, I had already fed it on, so all I needed to do was to open. Boy, they're so hard to see. There it is. I'm opening up this jump ring from front to back, and I'm going to add it onto this side so that I have my extender chain as well, closing that tightly. Okay. And that, my friends, is a simple and easy way to create a turtle necklace, turtle themed necklace, using flat mesh from SilverSilk. Excuse me, got it turned around. I had it correct the first time. And there is the necklace with the dangles in front. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy.